Alright, so today in VS Code we are creating a simple language, coding language. So we're going to open a folder. We're going to go new folder, or you can have created a folder already. We are going to name this for me tutorial ling, and it's just going to open us up. So don't need this. First, we want to make a name for the language and a file extension. So we're going to name this test. Now, my file extension is going to be TL, tutorial language, right? And we can type in here, right? And this is the file we're going to parse. And then what we're going to do is we're going to make main.py, because we're doing this in Python, as the title should say. We don't need that. So first, we want to import a couple things. Random is going to be one of them, because we want a random generator, right? Math, we're not going to do that complicated math. And system, maybe? Let me check. No. I have my own custom language pulled up on my little computer next to me. So if I pause to look at something, that's why. Also, I'm not doing any face cam crap. I don't like that. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the command. So that's gonna be an input, and it's gonna be testing lang. So we run this, right? And it should say testing lang, and we can type here and hit enter, and the program ends. If you're that far, or not testing, tutorial. If you've gotten that far, well, that's not that hard. So then we're going to set a variable file name, a variable file. We're going to set file to none. So if the file doesn't exist, it won't run the parsing code. File contents, which is going to be an array of each line of all the lines, a stack for simple key value variables, and then we're going to set the file name to the command, right? And we're going to set the file to open. Actually, no, first we're going to do OS, and I didn't do this, which I probably should have. If os.exists, I forgot how to do this. It's okay, we don't need that. It's just going to throw an error if the file doesn't exist, which is fine, because this would do the exact same thing, except instead of throwing an error, it would close the program. Open. We want to open the file name in read mode, because we're not writing to it. And then, just to make everything look better, we're going to print new line, which is \n, a bunch of dashes, and then another new line. So then now, we can type in test.tl, and it does that, and the file is open, right? And when the file's open, we can read it. So that's the basic thing. So here we're going to put our functions. I forgot how to do the comments. I don't actually, yeah, here. Functions, parse function, and then call parse for each line. So this is going to be pretty easy. If not file equals none. So if the file exists, if there is a file, then file contents is equal to if we're going to read the file, right? And then we're going to split that by every new line. So that gets us every line. And then for I in file contents, so we're going to loop through each line. Actually, no, forget that. Range 0 to the length of file contents, which I just do the 0. You don't have to. It just, for me, makes it easier to read. For range I in file contents, 0 to file contents, basically, I is the index of the line that we're reading. We're going to parse. And we are going to input the line and the args. Now, args is going to come in later. But for now, args is going to be equal to none. Yeah. So in here, we're going to do parse, or def parse, def parse. And we're going to do line and args. And in here, we're just going to make a print function. So if, okay, so we're going to do line words is equal to line dot split by a space. So for I in line words, nope, I did it again, range 0 to the length of line words, we are going to say if line words I is equal to and out is equal to out, and we want to do print line dot split line dot split out and we want to get the second one. So then we want to call out with a bunch of things. Line words, line, I, and args, yeah. And then functions, we're going to do def out. Now this is what I just did was a mistake that I made that backfired very badly. I put all the code for each function inside of the if statement in the parse function, which was very dumb, because then once you want to run a for loop, you can't. It's just it's not fun when you accidentally do that. So then we want to input right? And what we want to do is we want to do print. Now this is just a basic, very basic out thing. Line dot split I, or not I, line words I, and want to get the second one. And the reason we're doing this is we are splitting it at where it says out, right? Right, splitting it at where it says out, and we are getting the one after that. So then here, we write out hello world, and we save it, and let me check if this will work. Or at least let me see how I did it in my other program. Oh, here's how I did it. Out space. Alright, so now we should run this, and we type in test.tl, and it prints out hello world, just like we put in here. And this is like the basics of exactly how to make a parser, right? And I'm working on something else called ZetaPy, which is very similar to this, right? In fact, I just stole code from it. Yeah, it's just a little key value stack based scripting language. It can do math operations so far and for loops and stuff. Yeah. And let's say we want to do math. Well, we have to make a variable called temp, set it to none. So we're not setting a type for it, right? And that is going to be very helpful. So when we're done using temp, we reset it to none. And what we want to do is we're going to control X this. If line words I, so we're getting the second word after out, if it is equal to a plus sign, then, oops, I accidentally ran it. We want to, what do we want to do? We want to add, we want to set temp equal to float. So we're going to use floats, not ints. It's just, it allows you to have decimals, right? This is not a basic Python tutorial. This is if you know some Python, right? If you don't know any Python, then you shouldn't be watching this. I should have said that at the beginning. Line words I plus 1, so the one before the plus sign, plus float line words. I can't type. I probably shouldn't be doing a coding tutorial if I can't type. 3. And since this isn't an out function, we want to do print temp is equal to none. And we want to do temp, right? And in here, we want to input temp, right? And in here, we want to input temp, right? And then in here, we want to input temp. So, now we're using this, right? And if we do out 2 plus 2, it should not give us 5. Oh, right. This is going to be a problem, right? So we can do Python main.py, right? Now it works. Test.tl gave us 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. We big brain now. And then if we do else, we can print what's there. So if it says plus, we add them together and spit it out. Otherwise, we don't. We spit out the rest of the line. So what we are going to do is we're actually going to do another if. Line words I plus 1 dot is numeric. I always put an E before the U. So if we're checking it if it's a number, and line words I plus 3 dot is new. See, Eric. Then we want to do this. Because if they're not numbers, we can't call them to a float, and if we can't call them to a float if we can't call them to a float, then it's going to give us an error. So we don't want that. So we're checking if they're numbers, right? And if they are numbers, then we can add them, right? That's how numbers work, right? And we're going to do an else to this, because plus can also mean concatenation. Temp equals line words I plus 1 plus line words I plus 3 print temp is equal to none. So what that's doing is it's saying, well, if they're not numbers, then we can concatenate them. And concatenation is putting two strings together to make a bigger string. Substrings together to make a bigger string. Same difference. So now we can do out 2 plus 2. Out. Wrong. It's 5. Alright. Python main.py. Tutorial lang test.tl. 4. Wrong, it's 5. See? Works. Alright, say we want variables. We have to have set functions, and I'm just going to add a QOL unset function. So you can unset a variable and then reuse the same variable name. So set and unset functions. We are going to make these here. Now we also are eventually going to want iterables, and I will do that in the next video. But in this video, what we're going to do is we are going to have just set unset functions. And we're going to keep this import random even though we're not going to use it in this video, because the next video we're going to get more advanced, like plus equals and set iterables and set random values and that fun stuff. Right now we're just setting basic variables in a print function. Right? And actually we want to copy this, but not all of it. We just want to copy this. Right? Oops. Windows V. And we actually just want to copy that, so we can do that. And there are other map operations, and we're going to get into the more complicated ones, such as squaring, cubing. I think it's quarting, because I know it's squared, cubic, quartic, quintic. But I don't know if it's squaring, cubing, quarting, quinting. I don't know what that is, but we're going to change this to divide. Since these are strictly math operations, we don't need to have the extra else saying if they're not, then we can concatenate them. I just hit a button and I don't know what I did. Help. There you go. It was F11. So if you want to hide that when you're doing VS Code and you hit F11. Oh wait, it's only monitoring this, not my... Huh. Streamlabs is cool. Or OBS, whatever it's called now. I don't even know. So, now we can do that. So let's do out to plus 2, out to minus 2, out to times 2, out to over 2. And we run it, and it still gives us the stupid error. Python main.py test.tl 4 and 1. Okay. So that's why that didn't work. Let's try that again. Nope, still doesn't work. Python main.pine. I'm gonna try and do that every time. Not try to, you know what I mean. So 4041. I mean, it works ish. Why is it printing that though? What if we get rid of this? Nope. There you go. Oh, because that's why we need to do elif. Stay on these, else. Still have that on my clipboard. Please, please. There you go. And then we do out 9. No. Why? Is there a breakpoint somewhere? Oh. No. What? Okay, I don't know what's going on. But I'm gonna cut. Alright, so I got my error fixed. All I had to do was change the syntax up a bit so that we didn't check if the second word was a plus sign, because there might not be a second word. So now we do plus and then first number, second number, and it works perfectly. So what we can do is just save that so it doesn't have the little white circle that's distracting. To make a set and unset function like we were going to do earlier. So we need line words, line, stack, and actually we might want args. Actually, we don't need lines because stack, I, and if we don't need line, then we don't need anything else. So in here, we want to do if line words j plus 2 is numeric. Okay, I didn't do it that time. We want, or not j, I'm sorry, I plus 2. We want to do stack, and to append things, you just set the keyword line words I plus 1, and then you set it equal to, we're going to do float in this case, line words I plus 2. Else, or elif, rather, we want to do if plus 2 is equal to the word args, and args and not args, my bad, is equal to none. We want to do stack line words I plus 1 to be equal to args. Alright, elif, or else rather, stack line words I plus 1 is equal to line words I plus 2. Alright, we have a set function. And now what we need to do is elif line words I plus 1 in stack, my bad, stack.keys, and actually it'd be easier if we did this. Yeah. So in here we want to do print key stack.get line words j plus 1. Not j, I keep doing that. Because my other language I called it j. Kind of dumb, but that was because in the for loop here it's I, and then in the for loop here it's I again, which I thought was annoying me, but it doesn't really matter. So we're going to do set x 10 out x, and what this should do is spit out 10. Oh, it spits out x. And why is this? Was it because of that? Oops. No. Now I'm going to debug this one while recording so you guys can see how I debug things like that. So what we're going to do is we are going to go here and we are going to say print, oh, well that's why. Wait, no it's not. Something like, oh. So we can see if the function gets called at all. And what is this? So what's happening is it's not seeing that is in stack.keys. And why is that? This isn't even getting called. Did I spell this wrong? I plus 2, 1, 2. Oh, I'm not calling it at all. If line words I is equal to set, then we want to set with line words args and I. Now it should work. Yep, spits out O. Now we want to do stack.get key any. We want the key to be line words J plus 1. I'm sorry, I plus 1. Test.tl spits out 10. Put in here 10. Alright. So that works. Now we want to do an unset function, which will be far easier. Unset line words args and I. We want to yoink this, but we want to say actually we don't even need to yoink that. We want to say if line words I plus 1 in stack. So if it's in the stack, dot keys, I'm sorry, my bad again. If it's in the stack, if the key is in the stack of keys, or whatever you want to call it, I don't even know what I'm trying to say anymore, we want to remove it. But if it doesn't exist, we don't want to remove it. And if it's equal to args, then we don't actually need that. So we want to do stack dot pop, because there is no remove. And the key is going to be line words I plus 1. And this is statically typed, so if there isn't something, then it don't work. I don't know how to make a dynamically typed language. And now we can do unset x out x again. And what it should do is you print 10 and then the letter x. 10, letter x. Perfect. So the unset function works. And that is all we are going to do for today. So we have basic variables, a basic print function, well, not that basic, but you know what I mean, and a simple command input, and parsing function, and we parse each line individually. Alright, that's it for today. Bye!